Hello.
Greetings.
And salutations.
Salutations.
Welcome everyone. I will let everyone join. While we're joining, I'm going to show you, we're going to change up the colors a little bit, but we are going to make this fun card. This is part of the Fun Stamper's Journey Mystic Romance collection, and I'm obsessed with this. Awesome. In fact, what?
It is awesome.
It's awesome. And in fact, I'm so impressed by this. I ordered some more stuff, so it's coming. So we have this one. Now this one was made out of the red papers. Sean has a new lamp, so if lighting gets weird, he's playing with the lamp. So he feels like we need extra lighting. Anyways, this is the red. We're going to be doing a teal version of this card just to change it up. But very fun, very easy. Sean is there to answer questions. If you guys have questions, please let me know. I do want to say I have these back in my store. These are the Tim Holtz stamp platform, and I think I have them on sale for $35 plus shipping. So if you need those, there's a link down below. I only have a few left, so you might want to do it soon. I also gave you Amazon link and scrapbook. If you don't want to buy from me, I get it. All right, so we are going to go ahead and get going on this. There is a lot to this card. I hope we can cover it all, but there's a lot of different elements to this. So yes, I saw your comment. It should say good luck because it's a shark, but I looked up koi, and koi is basically a representation of prosperity and you know, happy life. So good luck worked for me. So we are going to start first with this little guy here, and the reason why is I'm going to be using my brother Scan and Cut to cut this guy, and essentially I want to get that machine out of the way because it, you know,
it's in the way.
It's in the way. So we are going to be using some embossing powder for this on black paper, and this is just the Fun Stamper's Journey black paper.
Hello to everybody who's saying hello.
Hello! Alright. So when you use this stamp platform, there is two sides. There's a rubber and a clear side. So I have it set on the rubber side, you'll see here. My only complaint so far about this platform is because you're able to pick it up and turn it around, at times I find myself, maybe it's just me and I need to get used to it, where it will get caught right here and I have to kind of jiggle it to go down. See, like right there, it's caught. So sometimes that's the only kind of bad thing, but I will say you do not have to press hard on this. It's amazing. I'm in love with it. So the Koi Dreams comes from this. This is called an artist trading stamp. You can get these free if you place so much of an order, but you also can get these if you buy. But they're a smaller stamp, usually containing only 2 stamps. But they are some of my favorite stamps. So I'm going to
do a comparison.
I will be. I think we're going to be doing it Wednesday, actually. So all I have to do is press this guy down, one little push with my finger. We're not talking a lot. Now, when I ink this up, I'm using Fun Stamper's Journey Clear Pigment Ink. And you want to make sure you do not get too much ink. These stamps, let me show you here real close up. These stamps are really fine detailed and very fine lined. So if you get too much pigment ink on these, you will not get a good transfer for the fish, which is very important. So I am just going to lightly do this. And I can always, because stamp platforms are awesome. I'm going to redo that because I forgot an integral step. We forgot to use my little magic thing here. For those of you who don't know what this is an embossing powder prep. Essentially gets rid of the static on your paper. And normally I would say, oh, well, I already stamped it. But because I'm using black paper with silver embossing powder, we want to make sure that we get a good transfer. All right, so we're going to restamp this bad boy. Like I said, I'm not going to go too crazy with the clear pigment ink because, and I'm not going to push too hard. I can always get a good transfer elsewhere if I don't get a good transfer, which I'll do it one more time. We could always redo it if it's horrid, but because I noticed the last time I did it, I pushed too hard and my embossing powder wasn't on there very fine.
Welcome, Julia. She's new.
Hi, Julia. Welcome to the main event. Da-na-na, da-na-na. What's that from, Sean?
ESPN.
He could go all the... I don't know what happened to my Oh, I used it. All right. So
Renee says she wants to buy the Tim Holtz thingamajig.
So instead of using gold like I did in my first card, which I can, throughout the show, if you join late, I can show you that. We're going to be using silver, just because this one was red and it went really good with the gold colors. But this is going to be a blue style of that. And I thought it just would go good with silver. So you want to make sure you get as much of that embossing powder off.
Hi, Mona.
So I have a paintbrush here just in case, but I think it looks pretty good. We're going to save this stuff. Now,
Donna got her Tim Holtz thing today.
Yay! So here's the deal on embossing powder. You want to make sure when you're buying your embossing powder that it's ultra fine, because that's on stamps like this, you can use it then. So for me, it was really important. Now all we need to do is heat this bad boy. I'm using my Fun Stamper's Journey heat gun. And I literally put it on my arm. I know this seems weird until I can't stand it. And then I know it's hot. And you want to wait till it's hot before you hit it with this. I don't know if it's... I don't see why it wouldn't be okay. I don't buy our dyes because I have the Brother Scan and Cut. There's no rules against it. You are free in America to do whatever you want. So the cool thing about embossing powder is you can literally see it change in front of your eyes. It will go from a kind of a powdery look to a very solid, shiny look. So we'll bring that up close now. I think I got everything. And that's where I was saying that this one you want to make sure you get as fine as possible. You don't want to cut too much on that, because the first time I did this, I cut too much and you couldn't see the scale. You couldn't see the differences in here, which is really important.
I want to know, how close were you to the paper on your...
I get close. Some people don't get close. Some people do this whole far away action and stuff. I literally get close and I do this kind of action.
Right, so it looks like you're about 2 inches.
Yeah, and you'll see it turn, and that's basically, that's where you're good. All right, so we're going to cut this out because I don't have dyes. I use the Brother Scan and Cut. Now, I hate their mats, so I have taken when I was at the Cricut event, someone said, oh, have you seen you can just use your Cricut mat? And I looked at it and I was like, oh my gosh, that's awesome. So all I did was cut down my mat to fit into this section, and then I used super, super, super strong glue to make sure it is on there good. So, because I am not a fan.
Yes, Belinda, just keep your heat gun moving around so you don't keep it on one spot.
Well, and if you're doing it on black paper too, it all depends on the thickness of your paper. If you have a pretty thin paper, you're gonna want to. All right. So I want to just make sure I have this on there good. I'm doing a scan and a direct cut, and then I need my little stylus, and then I'm just gonna hit.
Probably tilt that back a little bit, and they can probably see that.
I'll just do it flat. Well,
yeah.
So then I'm gonna hit start. It's gonna scan this little koi fish. When I first had my heat gun, though, I did do it on a white piece of paper, and I burnt the paper. You'll know if you burn the paper. Let me tell you.
He says, "No way, I'm gonna do that to my mats."
Okay, so this machine is pretty easy. All you do is you frame what you're cutting. So I'm telling you what, I will love this machine a lot more because I used to spend so much time trying to get my stuff to stick, and this is a perfect solution.
Yep.
In fact, I'll probably do a video on it. And once we're done, you're going to see it picked up a lot of crap that I don't want it to pick up. So we're going to go back and make my square as small as possible around this.
It's nice and tight around that.
Because I did a direct cut, so I can't really go back and get rid of any little elements. Technically, if I wanted to, I could save it and then direct cut it, but I don't want to do that. So I'm showing you guys here. I hope you can see it. Oh, there we go. But we have a little bit of a problem here. It didn't do a good scan here. So what I am going to do is I'm going to hit home and I'm going to rescan that because I don't like, it might be this light. Can you turn this light off, Sean?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't like that light. And we're going to change it to black and white because it's trying to pick up too much of the colors, and I think that's freaking it out. There we go.
No, Rosalinda, this is a Brother Scan and
This
Cut.
is the, yeah, I bought the Brother Scan and Cut specifically to do stamps, and that's what I use it on. I'm not a big die person when it comes to cutting my stamps. I'm just not. So for me, this is a solution to the amount of stamps I have, so I don't have to buy the dies. But some people, I get it. This might be even too light. I might have to go back to the color. So this has been the biggest criticism of the Scan and Cut is obviously it's not perfect. It is, see right there, it's not getting that. We're going to make it a little bit darker and see if I can get it to recognize my stamp. If not, we'll go back to color and just do the best we can.
Could you use silhouette picks?
You could. Silhouette picks is a great example. It's just, for me, I've never been able to calibrate it good enough. But you could do that. This one, I probably should have chose different paper. The black, the gold showed up a lot more than the silver is. So we might have a little bit of an issue here, and I might be hand cutting it if I can't get this to scan right. In fact, what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut it down.
Remember, sometimes if you reposition it on the mat somewhere else.
Yeah, I know. Will you inject my mat, Sean, really quick?
Yep. Does that Sam have a matching die?
It does, yeah. I could get the dies. Problem is I buy so many stamps through Fun Stamper's Journey that if I was to buy all the dies, number one, I'd have to store them, which isn't a huge deal, but I'd rather not. But I would have to buy basically a lot of dies. We're talking a lot. So this was the whole point. You can kind of do something with the Cricut. So some people have asked that. You can actually take your things like this, you know, and scan this in and then upload that into the Cricut and then kind of create a shadow. I wouldn't recommend it. It's kind of a pain, but you definitely can do it. There's also using the app. There is something called, I forgot just my train of thought, Snap Map. That would work. Oh, that's pretty good. I'm not liking that. So we're going to hit, okay, we're going to actually hit go back. So we didn't get the best scan, but I can always cut that off. So let's see what happens. We'll start it because I can cut that piece off that it's attached to. So basically right now it's going to start saying what do you want to do. I'm just going to hit start. Hopefully this works. If not, I'm going to be very upset. This machine, in my opinion, does a great job. Even if you don't get a perfect cut around it. So the offset was scan and cut. So when you scan something, you can tell it to do a certain offset on it. So like this one, I chose a 0.4 offset. And stuff. So, and this one didn't give me the best cut, but it's workable. It's easier than what I thought it was going to be. So while I'm going to finish cutting that up, Sean's going to remove the scan and cut out of here because I don't need it for anything else. So for me, even if it doesn't get a perfect cut, I'm still fussy cutting a lot less. I will say on this one, it's all because of the color I chose. The black and silver isn't enough of a comparison, in my opinion. And I would say this is probably the biggest frustrations we hear about the scan and cut is the fact that at times you do have to mess around with it to get it to work. But for me, once again, I'm not buying a bazillion different dies. So I am just going to do a little fussy cutting here. So you'll see here, I did a pretty good job, but right here is the part where I'm going to fussy cut a little bit more. I don't know if anyone watching has the scan and cut. I've been, for the most part, impressed with it. I will say the biggest thing, learning curve is being patient, learning your settings. What else would you say, Shawnee?
On the what side? I'm sorry, I was reading.
On the Brother scan and cut, what is the biggest learning points we've had?
As long as you know how to kind of do the software itself, it's pretty good. It's not too.
Yeah.
It's not super friendly, you know.
Yeah, I would say yeah.
Easy friendly, but you get.
So now that that's done, we have the scan and cut out. We now can start working on our card. I'm going to zoom in a little bit so you guys can see a closer look of this because we're going to have a lot of stuff going on here right now.
Sorry for the shake.
So for this card, we are using 4 different colors of blue. We're going to be using, this here is, all of them are Fun Stampers Journey paper. So we have Beach Breeze, Beach Ball, Catalina Splash, and Denim Days. And essentially what we're doing is we're creating this using stackable dies. I've done this before in the past, and it's great success. If you guys need a specific example of how to do this, stackable dies, reversible. Jennifer McGuire has a great video that she did on it. I don't know how long ago now, but it's a great video on how to do this. Essentially, we have a card that's A2 size, so 4.25 by 5. So we're looking at 5.5 this way and 4.25 this way. And then basically all the cards underneath of it, all 4 colors, are going to be in 4 inches by 5.25. So I have those all right here. We have 1, 2, 3, 4 going down in colors. So essentially, we're going to grab a die cutting machine here, and you can either choose. Yes, Sean. Sean has a question.
Well, Belinda did. She wants to know what's the cardstock weight?
85 pounds.
85 pounds for these. Yes.
Yeah.
I thought so, but I wanted to make sure.
So I'm gonna be. So we're gonna start with this. This is our top one. And I'm going to be using the Journey dies, circle dies, which are these guys right here. And I want to get these positioned just perfect. And as much as I like the Fun Stampers Journey die cutting machine.
Thank you, Mona. $10 super chat.
Oh, thanks, Mona. As much as I like their magnetic sheet, they have these magnets in weird places, so it will move my dies. So I'm going to set the dies on my Cricut mat so I can make sure that they're positioned exactly where I want them. So basically I want a nice layer kind of right there to where I think, okay, that looks pretty good. And then once I have that, I'm just going to be taking some washi tape and I'm going to put 3 lines on it. The first one is going to include right down this side. You don't want to push hard because we're going to have to lift this up. And essentially this is going to keep your spacing, and we're going to remove a die as we go along each way. So essentially this is just, all right. And now we can pop it off. And how I pop it off once I have washi tape is I literally bend my corner like that, and we're good to go. So the first one is going to be our widest opening, which is going to be the Catalina Splash. And I want to put it down in this corner down here. So I have my, here, I'm just going to kind of position it.
Somebody was just wondering why we make such small cards.
You know, I don't know how I got on the A2 size card. Actually, I do know how I got on it. So essentially, I started designing cards and realizing I cannot find envelopes ever. It seemed like the majority of the envelopes in the market were designed around an A2. So for me, that's why I just started basically doing an A2 then, is because of that. But I agree, they're not to everyone's. I know some people are not big fans of A2, so I get it. They're a little bit smaller, so, but I do like them. They fit usually in everything, but they do crimp your design because it is, I mean, you have less space essentially. So I'm gonna, this is a little bit of more of a stickier washi tape than I remember, so I'm gonna cut these off real quick. So now that we have the first opening done, we're just going to keep continuing. So now I can get my second paper out, which is this color. You want to make sure it's lined up perfectly. And I can remove this outer one because we are now done with that. So you have this outer piece here. Now what I do is optionary. A lot of people will keep these pieces for something else. I choose not to do that, but some people will. But what I use mine for is I'm going to, now that this is here, I'm going to put this back as my reference guide. And then I can line up this guy to make sure I am where I want to be. And you'll be able to feel the groove. There we go. So now I can remove this layer of paper because we already cut that. And then this is in place. I can run this through.
Why are you not using your glue gun?
Because the Fun Stampers Journeys dies, even though they'll work in my Cuttlebug, to me they just work a little better. Their dies work better in their machine. It is true. So, but you don't have to use, you could use the Cuttlebug, absolutely. So we have our second layer there. So we're going to continue this process on each layer. So the next layer is right here. And once again, I am...
Where do you buy your plates? Somebody was asking.
The Fun Stampers Journey plates?
Mm-hmm.
Two places. The Amaze machine is essentially just the Sizzix Amaze machine. There's a Sizzix, I think it's, no, Spellbinder, excuse me, Sizzix machine. And all that this machine is the branded Fun Stampers Journey version of that. So you could technically buy those plates just fine. So that's what I would say. So same thing, we're just going to remove and continue going down in our sizes. So I'm just removing it.
Hi, Vivian. Welcome.
And you want to make sure anytime you do this that you've lined it up perfectly, because you want to, when we're done, we're going to be lining all of these up. This goes right here.
Decondra is wanting to know what kind of card are we making?
We're making, I called it just a koi dream because it's got a koi in it, but some people call this a layered die card, I think is what other peeps have called it.
And Roberta is wanting to know, what is this product?
So most of the product in today's I am using is Fun Stampers Journey product. This is a process though you could do pretty much with any of your favorite dies. You wouldn't have to use Fun Stampers Journey. But I use this because I'm using the koi. Now the koi fish is exclusive to Fun Stampers Journey. So if you want that, that is exclusive.
Do you use punch boards at all?
Do I use what?
Punch boards.
Explain to me what a punch board is. What do you mean?
ACD was asking for that.
Are you talking about a punch system instead of using like metal dies, using a punch system? If that's your question, yes, I have. In fact, we will be using that in today's demonstration.
Hi, Terry.
Are you tired, Sean?
Yeah. A little tired. Sorry.
So we only have one more layer, but you can kind of see the progression. Now I haven't taken the best effort in lining these up. Somehow I got like a little piece of hair in here. So we're gonna brush that away. So we have the last layer, which is our lightest blue. So we're gonna go ahead and get that set up. And we're gonna take one more die away from the element. So we should only have now...
She was asking, it's the Memory Keepers punch boards.
Oh, yes. I don't have any out, but I've used them before and I'm a big fan of them, yes.
She's a whining.
You know her. She will whine if she doesn't feel like she is being 100% loved.
Or outside.
Yes. Alright, so this one I have pulled officially all of the washi tape off. So I'm just going to grab a little piece of washi tape just to make sure that this die does not move, because that would be very bad.
Thanks, Don.
And then, of course, the final piece of this would be the white poking through. So when we're done here, we should have the white at the very, very base. So let me kind of put these all together so you can see. So dark. So I'll line them up perfectly, but you can see, and then the white is the final there. So you get a cool little look there. So now that we have that all done, we're done with this for now. And I'm going to clean my area because we have a lot of pieces of crap everywhere. This is a great thing just to add a little something to your card, to use up scrap papers, that kind of stuff. Oh, I forgot to say this craft mat is on sale at DIXIE for like 35 bucks.
Ooh, good price.
Yeah, I paid like 70. Not even kidding. But it's worth every single penny. All right, so now we have this part done, but you'll notice on the original card there's some faint lines, and then there's also some heat emboss. So we're gonna now do that.
Roberta, this is an A2 size card.
Yes, I know. Some people are not fans of A2 size cards. I'm sorry. So essentially what I'm doing on this is I'm just kind of eyeballing it. So we're going to take the flower that came with this one, the Koi Dream. So there's a flower that comes with it. The mat is what she was wondering. Ah. Do you know, Sean?
What's that?
The mat. I want to say it's like...
Oh, what's the size of the mat? This is, isn't this 36? So it's like 3 feet wide, for sure. Yeah.
So essentially, I'm just lining this up kind of where I want it. There's no rhyme or reason.
Yes, Sue, it is.
And I am going to be stamping directly on the mat. So you can do one of two things. You can stamp directly on the mat, but if that makes you nervous because you don't want to clean your mat, you can also, because the magnets are so strong, you can also put a piece of paper under it or whatever you want. So I'll just grab a black piece of paper here to put under it, and we'll line her up again.
Is this card going to be very thick?
Nope. Well, I mean, I don't think it will be, but I don't know what your definition. Some
yes,
people.
Linda said it was 24 by 36.
So I'm basically lining up this Koi Dream, and then grabbing it, and I'm turning it this way so you guys can actually see the process. You don't have to turn it this way. I'm using Riverstone. I don't want a super dark color like black because we kind of want it to be more of a shadow or a very... You don't want it to be predominant showing.
It's almost a ghosting effect.
Yeah. So I'm just going to keep taking it and positioning it where I want.
Renee wants to know if you like Tim Holtz's or Misty.
Put me on the spot, why don't you? Yeah. I will say I'm very impressed with Tim Holtz. I love Misty. Misty I love as a company and a small business, but I've been pretty impressed with the results I've gotten from Tim Holtz. I'm not wild about this system here because it tends to get caught up on me, so I'm not a fan of that.
I think if you go slow, it's not bad, but if you're really going fast, that's when it catches itself.
Yeah. The craft mat is on sale over at DIXIE.
No, Robin, I'm not wearing the mic. It's kind of attached to the phone. The way the phone is today is a little different. So
I do like when you turn this mat over, it's at an angle. So when you are inking it up, it's going down at an angle, and I do like that as well because it's a lot easier to ink up in my opinion. So I've been impressed with it. I didn't get to use it a ton before we went to the Cricut event, so I'm just now kind of getting into the groove of it all, and I have to say I'm pretty impressed. I know Sean's used it. What is your thoughts?
The press?
Yeah.
It was really nice. Very easy to use.
Yeah. So
I like it. As long as you have a nice... I mean, it's definitely bigger than the Misty, because you always use the Mini so much, and it's so much smaller.
Mm-hmm.
But if you get away from just the size, it's really nice.
Yeah, it is.
Very, very nice.
So we have our elements here. So we'll show you kind of this. And really, the cool thing on this Mystic Romance collection is it almost looks like stitching. Embroidery. So I really like...
They're saying that they're hard. I can't hear you very
well. Sean might have to put the mic on. I'm loud. If anyone says they can't hear me, we have issues.
If I do, you're gonna lose me for a second, but I could get it on me.
Well, just wait a sec.
Okay, we'll wait.
The next thing we're going to do is we're going to add these flowers, and these are going to be embossed. So we're going to be using this set, which is the Dreams Follow, and I'm using this little piece right here. This, we just need to be super careful because I'm just going to kind of hit this because I don't want this to... See, if it gets in the ink... But if you don't have something like this, it will... You want something like this to... So you're not...
Kyle says he needs that koi stamp.
Oh, I'm obsessed.
It is very nice.
With this, the whole Mystic Romance, I'm obsessed with.
It is very beautiful.
All right, so we are going to go ahead and start going through, and we're going to stamp using clear pigment ink.
The stamp, you're selling it on your store at...
It's not my store, or the stamp press.
Stamp press.
$35 on my site. The link's down below. Shipping, depending on where you're at, it could be anywhere between $8 and $12 is the only bad thing. And that's because of the size of the box and how heavy it is. Okay. So I'm just kind of going through. Sean, if you want to grab your mic, that's fine. Hopefully it doesn't mess anything up.
Camera's going to move a little bit. Sorry.
So once I have kind of this randomly placed in places.
Okay, now you should hear me pretty good.
Can I hear you? Can you hear me now? Good.
What's the regular price of the stamp press?
I don't know what the retail price is. I think it's $39.99 is the retail price. I think. So now I have the clear pigment ink. I'm going to go ahead and do my heat embossing. So you'll see, you might be able to see kind of where I did all of those elements. What?
They said she lived in Portland, and the shipping standard flat rate was $27.50.
Ooh, that should not on my side. That shouldn't be the case.
Well, no, I don't know where she got it. It's definitely not that.
I know some places are charging an astronomical amount for the shipping.
Yeah, click on the choices of your shipping, and it'll tell you how much you're willing to spend.
Yeah. So we just have a few areas we need to clean up.
And Deanna says yes, it was on your site.
Okay, I'll look at that when I'm done, because right now I have all of the shipping options enabled. Your best rate, if you can get medium flat rate shipping as an option, that's your best rate, because I think it's like no more than, I want to say $12 is the amount on that.
Yeah.
So if you can get that option to enable, that's the best, because it won't, no matter where you live in the country, it's the same, and it's 2 days. You'll have it in 2 days. The ground option, originally I was going to do the ground option for everyone. I was shocked at how bad ground shipping is nowadays.
Yeah, it's getting...
It used to be the best way to go, and it's almost just as bad as...
So before he starts, look how dull looking this is, and then when he's done, how much shiny it just turns, just like that. So Gail said she ordered hers, and her shipping was $13.60, and she's in Maryland.
So that's the flat rate shipping.
Yeah, it's not the lightest thing in the world, but you also have to...
Well, it's a combination of, it's 3 pounds, and it's a bigger box. I mean... Yeah. It's over 12 by 12, so...
We have no control. And you can just see the dull here and how bright that one is. How long do you have to heat after you put the embossing ink on it?
I'm sorry, what was that question?
How long do you have to get the ink to the embossing?
I've never timed it, but I've gone like 6-7 minutes. Alright, so we have them embossed, so you can see the silver, you can barely see the black there with this light Sean has. But I want a little bit more silver.
It's silver, Robin.
So I want a little bit more silver, so I'm going to be using the Fun Stamper's Journey Silver Silk. So for any of those of you guys that have watched my channel, on this card, all these little tiny gold spots are the silk. So we're going to add... kind of not a lot. You don't want a ton. We just want a high over level. Or high, how do I say that? Not over level, but you don't want to be too aggressive with this, I guess. Now, the closer you are, the more
The bigger and more it's going to be. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And then if you are like, well, gosh, I really want some, you can also control it, which is nice. So I can just hit it with this, that. The silver and gold and the sparkle all dry pretty quick. The color ones take a little longer to dry. They're a little messy. Some people don't like the messiness.
Yes, Mary, it is Fun Stamper's Journey.
All right, so I think that's enough. I'm going to put that a little off to the side here while that dries, because we're really done at this point with this layer. We're going to let it dry. I'm going to take my little mess mat here, put it off to the side, and we're going to clean up because that silk goes everywhere. So you want to make sure before you do this, anything in front of you, off to each side of you, is definitely not within an area of sadness, you know, because you will get silk everywhere.
Yes,
all right.
Yes, you will.
So now let's look towards the sentiment. So on here, we're going to be using the good luck, and I'm going to show you that stamp here. Now, in order to make that, we're using the Fun Stamper's Journey punch system. So that's this guy right here.
Question was, what do you use to clean up your mat?
I use unscented Costco baby wipes.
And then water if need be.
Yep. So our offset is the white, so that is the 1 3/4, and you just slide it on, and we are going to just punch it out like so. So we have the white, and now we need to do the black, which is the 1 1/2.
No, 1 1/2 or 1 1/4?
1 1/2. That was 1 1/4.
Oh, okay.
Now this punch system, if some people might know it, it was part of Creative Memories when Creative Memories was around. Creative Memories is no more, so I think that's why Fun Stamper's Journey took it over. But it is definitely, a lot of people have said, well, I've seen that before, you know, and stuff. Mm-hmm. So let's do, should we do Good Luck again?
Yeah.
Or should we do Love You? Let's do Love You.
Okay. Somebody
I know that doesn't make sense.
Somebody wanted to know what's the price point on the silks.
Silks are $5.95, I think. They're very reasonable and they last a long time.
Creative Memories is alive and well, Midge says.
It is alive and well. They don't have, maybe they have the punch system. I'm not sure, to be honest.
Kyle said it was $5.95. So.
All right, so I've already, since we're going to be heat embossing this, I'm going to take my Love here. It's going to not fit entirely perfect, and then I can put my magnets wherever they will fit in there.
Looks like you have room to go my way if you want.
I do?
Yeah, just a little bit.
Like that?
I think so.
Okay, so now I can just pick it up. Careful, can you pick that up so it doesn't get color on it? Thank you. So once again, we're going to be using the clear pigment ink. And we just want to get a good transfer of this since we're going to be... Ooh. I don't know if you can see that, but clear pigment ink, you'll see like a faint water line is the best way to describe it.
Looks like it's wet.
It looks like it's wet, and that is what you want.
Do you prefer that pigment ink?
What?
The one you just used.
Well, I mean, I don't know if I'm not sure what you mean by prefer, but it's my only option, Fun Stamper's Journey-wise. I've used Christopher Allen, Brutus Monroe has some. It's definitely, you want something that is fine because you want to make sure. And then just using any of the new, I have the Cricut weeding, but it's great to have something like this and hold it to where if you did get a little, you can take a paintbrush. And I blow it too. Just be careful when you blow, because if you blow and you have wet, not good.
If you're on Blitsy, Ken Oliver, best ever craft mat.
I have the link down below in the description.
Yeah, so it's in there.
All right, so I'm just going to hold this and turn on my heat gun once again. And like I said, I wait till it is too hot for my hand, my arm. Woo! Once I make that sound, it's good to go. And now we can go ahead and set it.
You could probably do that at a slight angle and you can see it.
I used to always think to myself, how do these people get this beautiful silver and look and... Uh-oh. Oh, buddy. Woo! That was close.
Yeah, show that up close. It looks fused.
Oh, Sean wants an up close.
That.
There you go. So the last thing we're going to do on this, though, is I wanted to incorporate the other colors of the card. And the whole idea of this card was kind of when you go to China, I think it's Japan, they have those really pretty dresses. And that's the whole idea of the card, is to get that nice stitching and stuff. But on the sentiment, I took a little bit of the color and also made sure to get the color in on this. Now, this will take a little bit longer to dry because it's the color. So I have Turbo Teal.
Do you have a discount code with Blizzard?
Yeah, I do not, unfortunately. They've never given me... I don't think they have a code with anyone. So no discount code, but it's definitely the cheapest.
Yeah, that's really cheap.
That same mat is like 40... Or no, it's 55 on Amazon. So the Turbo Teal is being a little stubborn, but you kind of want to keep shaking it. You'll hear a
BB.
Yeah.
Once it gets stuck out of that thick stuff.
Yeah. And on this one, I am going to be a lot more control. You'll see the color here. But I want to be a lot of control on this because I don't want too much. I just want an overall element.
Free shipping. That's why it's...
Oh, it's free shipping. Well, you can't go wrong there.
Nope.
It's long, so... Oh.
Can you hear it?
Nope.
Yikes.
This little jewel ball is stuck.
Yeah, just use Kenny's link down in the description. See you, Susan. Thanks for stopping by.
So I'm being very controlled on where this goes because I really don't want it. But you don't have to be. If you like that look, you could be a little bit less controlling. And this is going to go out to the side because we want to air dry this. If I was to hit this with a heat gun right now, it's going to make all of those dots look more like...
Flat.
Yeah, it's going to be
spread out.
sad. All right, so now, while that is drying, we can build our layers. So that is these guys right here. My silk is dry, so we have this. And so what we're going to do is we're going to turn it over. And I have to say I do like this tape from Fun Stamper's Journey. It's kind of just a roll of adhesive. And the reason why I tend to like it is I can tear it.
Kyle's going to steal your design here.
What design?
This one you're doing.
Oh!
Go for it,
cool.
man. Yeah, it's great.
Steal away. To be honest, this was an easy design for me. My mom and I lived together, just the two of us, from when I was, gosh, 5th grade and up. And she had a love for not just Japanese and Chinese culture, but that whole Oriental, when you say vibe kind of thing.
Little Oriental vibe, yeah.
And so when this whole collection came out, which by no means is it or all Oriental, but when I saw the koi, oh, I fell in love. In love. And we have a garden here called the
Manitou Park one?
Yeah, what is that called?
It's the Japanese...
the Japanese garden. So, and of course there's...
They have koi in there.
They have koi in there, which are just absolute gorgeous fish, I think.
Remember when we went to the Buddha temple in Hawaii? They had all the koi there too. They had a huge koi there.
Well, I screwed up, but that's okay.
Did you?
That's okay. I'll show you how to fix that, but I didn't line it up perfectly, my bad. All right, so we are going to keep doing that on each layer. So I'm just going to, and obviously if you're not doing a live broadcast like I am doing, you'll be able to have a little bit more control on placing these because you really want to look over. The whole point of these cards is to get it perfectly centered so you don't have you're going to see on this one, which we can fix because the koi can kind of overcept it, but you want it to be perfectly in the center. And stuff. Now this doesn't add a lot of additional layers to the card. I thought this would be, like someone had asked, is it a pretty thick card? It's not because of this tape I'm using. And I end up using foam foam tape anyways usually in between my stamps, so to me this is really not a big issue.
Thank you, everyone. We are enjoying everyone's company. And
all right, so we have
this
one more layer here, and then we will be close to being done. Yeah, I encourage anyone to take a look at the Mystic Romance, Fun Stamper's Journey. All my links are down below. The majority of the links are Fun Stamper's Journey. I think there's a few links that I gave you to like the Mess Mat and the Inkadoo, where you can make sure you don't have embossing powder stick. But other than that, it's mostly Fun Stamper's Journey. I've been with them now, gosh, at least 2 years, maybe a little more, and I have fallen in love with their collection. But what I really love is all of their different medias, like the color silks, color sprays, and they all match, which is really, really nice.
So someone was asking if we go to any local crafting expos and whatnot.
We don't.
No, we don't.
I don't know why we haven't. We just, probably because we don't have time. So you can see here my edges, but that's okay. We're gonna clean that up using my Caterpillar Pro. I'm not gonna bring it over because it's so big, but that will get rid of
that little tiny edge.
That little tiny edge where I messed up. And that's, I will say, one awesome thing about this cutter.
Yeah, it can cut the thinnest piece. It's amazing.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing.
And that light on there really helps to get to where you need to be.
All right, there we go.
Yeah, we're sorry, The Canadians really do have a hard on getting stuff.
Do you know what's crazy is I used to ship to Canada all the time, and it was never
this bad.
I don't know if it's just this administration or if they've run into issues, but it is crazy now to ship. Like I had to fax over a manifest once just saying like this is what's in there, and it was a gift for someone, and not to charge taxes, and they wouldn't take that. They said nope. We need a bill of
Thanks, Joanna, for that super chat. That was very nice of you.
Joanna.
Very nice of you.
I am missing.
What you missing?
Oh, I never brought it over.
Oh. Gosh darn.
Gosh darn. Gosh darn dang it. All right, so this is the last layer.
Bill of lading is what they're calling it.
Bill of lading. There you go. And once again, the one tip I will say on this is making sure lining everything up, because then you shouldn't have to cut because all your paper is the same size, but because I didn't line it up correctly on that first one, I'm a little off, which isn't a big deal, but you want it to be as good as possible, you know, if you're giving it away to someone. And the problem with this tape is it's not very, I love it, but it's not very forgiving. All right, so there we have.
So what that tape again was, the Fun Stamper's Journey?
Fun Stamper's Journey. It's just tape liner.
Yep.
So we have pretty much this done. We have to do our sentiment and our koi. So let's do our koi first, which Sean has the koi.
Yep, right here.
All right. So we're going to be using some foam squares for this. So I'm going to use the smaller foam squares on this because there's not a ton of room on this koi fish. And I load my stuff up with foam squares. I do not like... Here's the deal with foam squares. I love foam squares. They give projects amazing detail. But if you don't put enough and you send it to someone, the spaces where it doesn't have the support, it will dip it down on you. So keep that in mind when you are using foam squares, is make sure that... I mean, I know some people are like, well, I don't want to because it's expensive, and then I would say just be very careful, because I've done it before. That was a hard lesson to learn, was not using enough foam squares, especially if you're doing foam squares between layers, because how sad, like the person gets it and through the mail sorting machine, because they didn't put non-machinable, it dips down and it's just heartbreaking.
Yeah, that's silver, not white embossing.
Yeah, here, I'll bring it up once this koi is down. So the koi is going in the center, kind of like waves, and that's a silver. So, my stuff is still drying a little bit. I think it might be good. So on this guy, I'm just going to be using the Fun Stamper's Journey adhesive onto the white. Or did I? Oh no, I popped it up. I did pop this up. So we're going to pop this up onto the white, and then the white actually goes down. So on this one, you know, I might use the bigger ones on this one. Why are you laughing?
People are
Sean?
talking about how they're selling their Explorers so they can get the maker.
I'm telling you what, I cannot wait.
Somebody says they're getting theirs next week. It's like, really?
I'm not. I wish I get mine.
It's not available until the 20th.
Well, maybe they were at the event, but
They
I want it. I mean,
we were at the event and we haven't even gotten it.
Yeah, I love the machine. I really do.
Those squares are called...
these are just foam squares. These are the Journey foam squares, but you can get those foam squares pretty much through any company. Tanner does have his. Tanner is actually what is called, for the maker, a Cricut, maybe Cricut in general. I'm not sure. I don't know the details, but he's what's called a Cricut ambassador. He got his
like in June.
Yeah, so he can make videos and really learn that machine. So he is very lucky. However, one part he's not lucky is he also had to keep that secret, which I'm telling you what, that would have been a hard
Kenny
secret.
would have a hard time if he had.
When it comes to machines, especially since I've built my kind of channel around it, I would have a hard time with that. All right, so here is our sentiment. We're just going to put this on the card. And then we have one last step we're going to do. There we go. The last thing is this year they've released something called Fashion Silvers and Fashion Gold. And this I put in the middle of the, basically, where'd my, you know, when you're doing a live, you like lose track of everything.
Looking for your...
Oh, here it is. So these are awesome. They add a little something, and they're just going to go in the center of the flowers.
Kyle says, oh my God, just take my money now.
And then we're going to take this one. Uh-oh. It's the only bad thing sometimes about these. Oh, I'm not even in the picture. You're supposed to tell me when I'm not in the picture,
sorry.
Sean. Is you have to kind of rotate them, but we'll put that there. And we're going to put one there. The ones on the corners, because they're not a full flower, we're going to put a little guy. Just a little guy. And last but not least, there is one up there.
Nice.
And then you're done. So here's the original card we made for the program. You have to get really up close on this one to kind of see that embroidery look plan. But I loved the red and the gold. Now, I will say, now that I've done with the silver, the gold is definitely more, I think, makes more of a statement. But I like silver over gold. I am a silver person. So here's up close on this. Plus that embroidered look kind of shows through a little bit more. So I really, really like the silver too. I actually originally wanted to do the silver with more of a turquoise sea green, but I didn't have 4 different colors. So that's why we went with the darker blues.
And you said, yes, there is a stamp for this, correct?
What do you mean, is there a stamp?
Or, I'm sorry, die cut.
Yes, there should be.
Yeah, there should be.
I can't 100% guarantee that, but there should be a matching die for this guy here.
You're correct. The red is more of a Chinese look.
It is.
Definitely.
Yep. So that is both cards finished. And which one do we like better, Sean? What do you think?
I'm a fan. I mean, blue is my favorite, but I think I might just because the gold and the red is so beautiful.
The silver almost, I don't know, they kind of pop off and stuff.
Yeah.
So I'm going to be posting both of these on Facebook. You guys, if you know my page, facebook.com/Ken's Creations page. I just need you to leave a comment on these posts of the photos. There'll be photos, not a picture of the YouTube video or anything. There won't be any links. It will just show the photos, and it will say enter now, and I will randomly pick 2 people from the comments, and those 2 people will get each one, or whoever gets picked will get the red, and the other person will get the blue. So that way you guys can have the cards.
Yeah.
So that way these can go to good use. And on the cards, I also need to know if you're going to be giving away the card, because I tend to write a message in here, and basically saying, you know, thank you for following and blah, blah, blah. But if you don't want that because you are planning on giving it away, I need to also know that. So, and then here is the blue one. So they're very different, but I kind of like both of them.
Yeah. Show the sentiment again on how good that stitching looks.
Oh, the stitching?
Yeah.
Well, here, let me show you. I know we're over time, but let me show you here really quick that stitching. This whole design of this collection was to have this stitching design. And I loved it. It's kind of harder to see on that. So let me just stamp one out for you here real quick.
The ink obviously is really going to show up, but since the embossing is just a little... Yeah,
so that whole look gives it that embroidered stitch look. So I love this collection. I think it's so fun. And what's really cool, let me do another one for you here. The other reason I love this collection, we'll do the flower.
Yes, we'll both sign it. Whoever wins it, we'll both sign it.
The other thing I like about this collection is if you're going to color them, which I've seen a lot of different projects with the Mystic Romance coloring. When you color it, it almost does the shading for you. See there? See how in certain areas of the stamp it's darker and then it goes lighter? So if I was to color this, I'm not really going to have to worry too much about my shading because of the color. So I love this.
Somebody asked if Richard created those.
I don't know, to be honest. I know Richard designed stamps, and then he has a whole team of designers, so I'm not sure if someone drew them for him, if he designed them. I don't know. I do know I love them. The whole entire set is stunning. They have a peacock. Let me grab that real quick so you guys can see this.
Robin said she'd love to see you color it. It'd be interesting.
Look at this one.
Oh, this one's absolutely gorgeous. Can't wait to do a color.
Isn't that gorgeous? So... Here, let's stamp it. Let's see what it looks like stamped. I don't know if I have a piece of paper long enough. Since this is unplanned.
Unplanned.
Here, we have enough. Okay. And then we have to be done because we're almost reaching my hour-long time limit. Okay.
I'll let you do that because I don't want to accidentally rip it.
This stamp is gorge. So there's the stamp. Let's go ahead and... Of course, I should be, let me move it down a little bit, priming this stamp because this is... So now, will you hand me my black so we can really see it? That's gray that I've been stamping it in.
Black licorice.
So let's get a nice... So this is, what I do love about the stamp platform is it's angled right now. So my Misty, I tend to, because it's not angled, I tend to, it's straight on so my edges hit the side. Which isn't a bad thing. I mean, it cleans up really quick, but I do like the angledness of this. But I will say this, you do not have to put as much force as you would on the Misty. And that could just be because of the design. I don't think you have to. That's just me. Oh, that is so pretty.
Sorry for the bouncing.
Look at that.
That is gorgeous. Wow. That would be fun to color.
Yeah.
And the brilliant blues. And
I could probably
turquoises.
have stamped that again. It's not the best ink because that was the first stamp. I didn't prime that stamp. And by prime, I mean a lot of people on red rubber, they'll put their ink on, put it on a junk piece of paper, and then do it. But look at that set. The whole Mystic Romance collection is absolutely breathtaking.
Are there butterflies with this?
They have a set. This set comes with butterflies. Let's do that. Guys, you're making me break my rule of 60 minutes, but that's okay. So, do I have room? All right.
Angela says she needs to make a card when she comes over.
Okay, so we have to clean that one later. So this is the butterfly.
So those will be your prime, so don't take it off.
Huh?
Don't prime it. Or prime it and then do it one more time.
See, that's the only thing I don't like about this platform, is it catches on itself.
Go slower.
I don't have a slow option.
I know.
That's my problem. I don't do slow. All right.
How can you order the stamps?
Ooh.
Well, look at that.
That is so pretty. Oh my gosh, these are all gorgeous.
Yep.
So pretty. So all these stamps are down below. Well, not all of them. The koi one is down below, and so is this butterfly one. But if you get to my website, if you just look up in the search engine Mystic Romance, it will bring up the entire collection of this. It's a year-long collection, so this will be around for the whole entire year, but it's a must-have. I love this collection, and I didn't think I would. I kind of thought, like, I don't want to say girly, but I kind of thought, like, oh, it's embroidery, and I don't know why embroidery I think of grandma's, but I do, and so I didn't think I was going to like it until I started playing with it, especially this koi stamp, and I fell in love, because you're going to be able to, you could use embossing powder on all of them, so. All right, guys, any questions before we head off? Well, clean up. So, be looking for Grandma's Durock, I agree. Be looking for the post. You'll see just 2 photos. You'll see the red and the blue. I just need you to leave me a comment of, you know, entered or love the card, or I love the red one, or I love the blue one, whatever that might be. And I will pick, tonight at 11:59, I'll pick 2 people. And you'll each one of you will get a blue and one will get a red.
What are the stamps cost for the koi? Actually, well, it's a whole set, isn't it? Or is it
the koi is an artist trading stamp, and don't quote me because it's not on my catalog, but I believe it's $8.95 for that one. The bigger sets are anywhere between $14.95 and $24.95, depending on it.
And yes,
now in the catalog, I should have given you a catalog, but when you go to my site, any stamp that has a green outline edge around it means there is a die for that. So down below in the description is all the links to my website. It'll get you to Fun Stampers Journey website, or you can just go funstampersjourney.com/Ken's Creations, and you can order all of these stamps and stuff. Fun Stampers Journey shipping is a little high, I think, but they give you freebies. So if you hit $50 in orders, so let's say you order stamps and you hit a $50 mark, you get what's called a Bloom benefit, which could be an embossing folder, a stamp, or some freebies. And if you get $150 in orders, you can start a party and get even more freebies. So
there you go.
So yeah.
All right.
All right, guys. Well, thanks for joining. We should be back Wednesday. I think we're going to do a comparison of the Misty and Tim Holtz platform there. So thank you guys so much. You're awesome. I hope you enjoyed today's project.
Bye-bye.